Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Forged from Fat. We kind of missed you guys over the past week. As you know, we decided not to record due to the state of the world as it's been in, but we are back this week with a super exciting episode. I'm with my buddy Kieran, all the way out in Virginia. How's it going, Kieran?
What's up, man? We are doing good. Yeah, it feels like it's been a long time since we
Yes.
recorded last. But I think definitely think we made the right decision last week, kind of laying low and letting the world kind of unfold and do its thing. It's a crazy time.
Yes, it is.
So, with the absence, we wanted to bring you guys a super awesome guest with a great story. So this week we have Grace Wang with us, all the way from Seattle, Washington. So we're kind of scaling the whole United States with me on the East Coast, you kind of centrally located, and Grace is in the Northwest.
Yes.
So Grace is carnivore keto.
Yeah.
She's been battling weight for pretty much her whole life, right? And
Yep.
so we're going to dive into some eating disorders, which I know I have some personal takes on too. So super excited to have you, Grace.
Thank you. I'm glad to be on here talking to you guys.
And welcome to your first official Zoom meeting.
I know.
Technology.
Everyone's been doing it for, yeah. I figured it out like 5 seconds before we got on, pretty much.
Good.
That's all right. We're figuring it out every time we sign on as well.
Yeah. Yeah, so I've been, like you said, battling weight and eating disorder and body dysmorphia, everything since I was a kid. I mean, it started in 6th grade where I was actually pretty skinny, but I was obsessed with being skinny. Like I mean, I feel like as a kid, you shouldn't have to worry about that. You should just be playing and eating. I mean, eating junk food, even, whatever. Um, and then I was so restrictive that in 9th grade, I had my first like candy, like during Halloween and forever. And from there, it just spiraled out of control. I was like, this is so good. I've never tasted anything this amazing in my life. And yeah, I think then it just perpetuated that cycle of binging and restricting. And
I don't want to bring up any bad memories, but do you remember what that piece of candy was?
Reese's.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Like,
So I can completely understand what happened. Yeah.
and
That's one of
yeah,
my
it makes
kryptonites.
sense now.
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah, go ahead.
so in 6th grade, you're talking about how you had this strong urge to be skinny. Now, so like I have a 6th grader, and
Okay.
she's on Instagram all day. She's watching YouTube videos. So I can see where she would see some of this stuff, but back
Right.
when you were in 6th grade, there wasn't social media. There wasn't a lot of internet. Like
Right.
where do you think that was stemming from?
Honestly, I don't know if it had anything to do with like I guess like I don't know if this is common with other cultures, but with Asian families, a lot of people will say oh, you look like chubby and stuff, but it's not anything bad. But growing up here, to me that was really bad.
Right.
So when they say, oh, you look healthy, that actually means you look kind of chubby. So
Right.
I just kind of took that out of context, I think, and ever since then I was like, oh my god, I need to walk 2 miles every day. And I was just 11 years old, like walking after dinner by myself, like, okay, I need to work off my dinner, like I need to do sit-ups every day, because I didn't want someone to be like one of my mom's friends to be like, oh, you're looking super healthy, like,
Right.
yeah. So I think that's where it came from, but yeah, I don't know. And I saw my friends being really skinny and I was kind of obsessed with that. So I think it's just the comparison game.
Was this a thing that you did like in hiding, or like did your parents notice you going out for runs every day and doing all these sit-ups?
Yeah, my dad, I always asked my dad if he wanted to go walking with me, and he just let me go by myself. But they
Yeah.
didn't seem to think that there was anything wrong with it. And I think it's really easy to hide the obsessive behavior because you can just play it off as like, oh, I'm just healthy. Like I just want
Sure.
to exercise.
Yeah.
But when it takes over your mind and you like can't stop thinking about it, then
Assessing, yeah.
Yeah.
becomes obsessive.
So prior to sixth grade, you said sixth grade, this started happening.
Yeah.
What was your diet like? I mean, there's a standard American diet. Your culture, were you heavy into the culture of the way you guys ate, or how was that?
Yeah, so I grew up primarily eating a lot of Chinese food, but my parents weren't around for my brother and I after school, and that's where we would just raid the fridge and the cupboards. I mean, after school, it was just like snacking galore. Like we'd eat all this like microwavable food because my parents weren't around. So it'd just be like Hot Pockets or like Gushers and chicken pot pies, like anything frozen, basically. So it was kind of a lot of both. Like the main meals would just be Chinese food, and then in between we'd just do a lot of snacking. And it was a lot of like you need to finish your food. Like
Oh yeah.
you need to finish your plate.
Oh yeah. Like if it's on the plate, you better eat it.
Exactly. And I think that also maybe had something to do with like my binging because I had to finish everything. And
Right.
when you binge, you know, like if you've been in that state before, it's like I have to finish the entire package. Like there's no stopping in the middle.
Yeah. Like, well, I've come this far already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well go all out.
Yeah.
I've always been the same way. I was raised to not waste food. Like you don't
Right.
waste. You're wasting money if you're wasting food.
Exactly.
So you have to finish it. And then when my son was born in 2005, tattooed on my arm. When he was born in 2005, I was the same way. When he started eating regular food, if he didn't finish it, guess who ate it? Me.
Yep.
That's one thing I'm really scared of when I have kids. Like I don't want to fall into okay, I need to finish their food or force them to finish their food also.
Yeah.
It's crazy because there was a time like when my kids were younger, we would get them fast food and not even get anything for us because we knew that there'd be leftovers of theirs and that we would just eat theirs.
Oh, that makes sense.
And it just makes things easier and that's, you fall into that kind of what's convenient, right?
Yeah. I think that'd be a hard balance with kids, which I think about that now just to, you know, I mean, it's always different when you have the kids versus before you have them and think what you're going to do.
Right. Oh yeah. Well, yeah, you could say a lot of things.
Yeah. You're like, I'm going to do this. Yeah.
So, all right. So, sixth grade, you're working out excessively every night. And then you get to high school kind of where things really get real, right? When a lot of judgy folks.
Oh, yeah. And I gained about like 30 pounds from maybe 9th to 10th grade. And I mean, my binging just got worse and it wasn't just about the candy anymore. It was like anything I could get my hands on. So after school, that was my time. Right. Like I allotted that alone time to binge and it was something I looked forward to every day.
So this was something you did secretly?
Yeah. So no one was around, and if someone was around, it was more like I wouldn't do it, or I'd just sneak the food to my room or something. Right. But you know, you just eat, and then the more you eat, the more you realize, okay, you're numbing your pain, so you just keep eating, and you can't control it because it's carbs. You know, there's no like stopping point with carbs, which now we know. But and then in 10th grade, I joined cross country. Like, okay, this should control my weight. Like, this will stop it all. I'll be able to control my weight from here, drop some weight, and go back to normal. And instead, I gained weight, even though I was running 11, 12 miles a day.
Well, yeah, because your natural hunger probably kicked in, and you had to eat to fuel, and then you know the binge eating would just come on the back end of that.
Yeah, it's just like, okay, well now I'm eating and binging and doing all that, but like times 2. So
right, and that's something that I have found like during my marathon training. it's a mental thing where I make a deal with myself, like, well, I know I'm going to run a lot on Saturday, so I'm just going to eat more now. And so,
Yeah.
but during my training season, I should be losing weight and leaning up as well. But I find myself eating more and more because I'm rationalizing that I'm running more, so I should be able to eat more.
Yeah, it's totally a mental game. You can
Yep.
just override your hunger, like your actual hunger signals, and just be like, okay, I deserve to eat more because I ran a shit ton today.
Yeah, we are our worst enemies.
Now,
Yeah.
when you were doing cross country, I know like back in the day when people were talking about running a lot and things like that, you always had to carb up or eat like a huge pasta meal or something, just load on carbs. Were you taught to do that?
Yeah, totally. And I thought that was the right thing to do. And I mean, I'm sure that's great for some people. But that was my rationalization for eating even more, you know. It's like,
Yeah,
well, I have to carb up, so this makes sense. So what I'm doing is correct, you know.
that is crazy.
Friday night
Obviously.
pasta dinners were a big thing in high school for the football team and soccer teams and stuff.
Yeah, and for me too.
Yeah, I
It's
bet.
crazy that we are taught that way.
Yeah, it's just radically different from now. I just can't believe that we grew up like that.
Even like the early on things you'd read about running marathons is they tell you to carb up the night before, and then they also tell you in the next paragraph, be prepared to take a poop during the race. Well, what I have found, the poop comes from the carb up. Like, I've done races fasted without a carb up, and I haven't pooped the entire race. So
Oh,
I mean, so they
there you
kind of
go.
they could go hand in hand.
Yeah, there you go. I always I don't know if you guys watch The Office, but the 5K where Michael Scott like carbs up on pasta like
Yes.
like 5 minutes before the race or whatever.
Yeah.
That's what I felt like, because I would just be like so sick, but I'd have to still run on a heavy stomach.
Right.
And, yeah.
That's impossible to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So after your high school, and you're never supposed to ask a lady this, but how old are you?
Oh, right now, let me think.
Right now.
Oh my God.
How old were you yesterday?
At this very second, I'm 33 years old.
33 years old.
All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, once you get past 30, it's really hard to remember. Like,
Hey, you're preaching to the choir. I'm 44.
oh, okay. Well, you both look really young, so I don't know how old.
Oh wait, well, I'm not 44 though. I'm 38. But
38.
Okay. Yeah.
So we got a wide spectrum too.
Yeah.
So I'm the old guy. So so
you're still pretty, John.
Oh, so you do your high school, you do your running. What follows after that? Like where did you learn about keto? Where did you learn about like different ways to like fix your health or get better?
Yeah, so just a like story to that is that I started birth control when I got to college when I was 18. And then like during college I started losing some weight, but just by like I was just drinking a lot of water and like walking everywhere because our campus was huge and there were a lot of hills. So I was just walking, sweating a lot. It was in California. So I was back down to like a relatively normal weight, but I was still like I had chub, you know. I wasn't like by any means like fit. I was just like
What's that term that they always skinny fat?
Except I wasn't even skinny. I was like chubby fat. I don't know.
Chubby fat.
Like just kind of a big blob, basically.
Right.
And then I started running a lot in college, and that kept my weight okay. And I mean, I didn't have access to a lot of food. I mean, we had specific times and meals that we could eat. So college, whatever. And then I started lifting after college, but I never saw any results. I was just like, okay, I'm getting stronger. My body's not changing. I mean, you can't see any muscle definition. I'm just like still kind of blobby and
the
chubby.
Classic frustration of working out constantly and not seeing anything.
Yeah. And I mean, it felt good to work out, so I still did it. You know, I was like, okay, I can feel stronger. I can lift more some days. But then let's see. Yeah. So I think I had done paleo and lost some weight on that. but I guess it never clicked to me that low carb was really the answer.
Right.
I just kind of yo-yoed back and forth. I tried vegetarian diet too. But I first heard of keto like 2 or 3 years ago, and I laughed it off completely. I think I said that in the carnivore cast, but it was the funniest thing I did in my life. I don't know what your first initial reaction was.
That's exactly what mine was. A buddy told me about it, and I thought he was crazy.
Yeah, I was like, that's not possible. Like fat, obviously, if you eat fat, it turns into fat in your arteries.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's no question about it.
Yeah.
But then, like, I heard it again, like a year later from a friend. I was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. And so I had started low carb, and I was already seeing results. And then I started upping my fat, and I was still seeing results. I was like, oh my God, I can eat like all this delicious food and not gain weight and lose weight. Like, what the hell? This is like some sorcery. I don't know. It was crazy.
So there's a lot of people, if you talk to, that are keto or carnivore right now, that their journey into keto is very similar, on like trying out the different diets, and a lot of people will throw in vegetarian in there as well. Why do you think that that's the case? Well, like why doesn't no one ever start on keto, do you think?
I don't think, I feel like keto's so new, relatively new. Like paleo was huge back in 2010.
Right. Yeah.
I think vegetarians always just mainstream media, like, I don't know, like seen as healthy. Everyone still thinks red meat is bad for you. I think it'll take some time for everyone to realize that's not the case. And
yeah, a lot of people still think keto is pretty questionable as well.
yeah. I'm glad it's becoming more mainstream because it actually works and people are still like maintaining on it.
Yeah.
So it's like a lifelong way of eating. Yeah.
So how did you actually come about carnivore? Like what, through your keto journey, what made you switch, or how'd you learn about carnivore? Because I learned from Dr. Fit and Fabulous. She did a challenge. I was like, bam, I'm in.
That's awesome. I think I'd heard of Sean Baker before, but the more I was eating keto, the more I was kind of gravitating towards more meat on my plate than the salad part. I was like, okay, salad's not as filling, like the meat is a lot tastier. And then my boyfriend had like a lot of digestion issues where he had to run to the bathroom all the time and couldn't hold it. And it was multiple times a day, and he was on the road for work, so he would have to know where the bathroom was at all times. Anywhere.
There's only a handful of on the road bathrooms that I'm comfortable pooping in.
Pretty much, yeah. So
yeah, Target's one of them.
So he has like a set of customers, but he would know where all the bathrooms were, so he could just run in if he needed to. But he was eating like a crap ton of carbs and sugar, and so I was like, hey, why don't you try carnivore? I'll do it with you. So we tried it together in January of 2019, and maybe 2 or 3 weeks later, he had no issues at all. Like, it was crazy. He could sleep in the mornings, which he never was able to do. He'd always wake up at 5 or whatever to go to the bathroom and go throughout the day. But yeah, it was like a normal once a day thing for him. And then I started feeling better too. Like I didn't miss vegetables when I went to carnivore. I mean, it just didn't seem like I was missing nutrients either. I felt better just eating more meat. That was the best part of all my steak salads before anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's one thing I noticed when I started keto was, because you see salads. Everybody's eating salads, and you balance it all out. But I would have a salad every damn day, and just like your boyfriend, as soon as I finished that salad, off to the races to the bathroom. It was like it just, I thought I was doing the right thing, but apparently until I discovered carnivore through that challenge, did my digestion just perfect. I mean, it's like no more running to the bathroom, no more feeling crap after eating a big salad.
Yeah, I was actually the opposite. I had suffered from constipation my whole life. But I became more regular when I went carnivore. So I think that's a good thing too.
Well, and
So
then
we're both opposite.
Yeah.
did either of you see the Joe Rogan when he talked about going carnivore, like
Yeah.
strict? And yeah, you get
Yeah.
real regular in the beginning of carnivore.
But of course, that's just an adaptation phase. So,
Yeah. I was gonna say, if this is how it's gonna be forever, I don't know about this.
Yeah.
So is your boyfriend still carnivore?
No, he eats some carbs, but oh my God, it's a ton better than before.
Yeah.
Like we calculated how much sugar he was eating before. It was maybe 300 grams a day.
Wow.
Like it was intense.
Of sugar?
Yes, because he would just drink Powerades, like not the 0-calorie ones either.
Right.
And each of those is, I don't know, like 50 or 60 grams of sugar. I mean, it was bad. Yeah. And then he'd have like, I don't know, just ice cream and everything. So he was a snackaholic at night. And also stopping eating like earlier, that helped a lot too.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So
it's different.
let's talk about, okay, people go to keto and it's like, it's the cure-all, I'm going to be fixed. And then you go to carnivore and it's like, it's a cure-all, I'm going to be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
I know you've mentioned on your Instagram, we've all follow each other and I've seen some of your stories and your posts about actually gaining weight on carnivore. And I've seen other people talk about it too, like the carnivore yogi. She's brought it up a couple times.
That's right. Yeah.
How did you work that out? Like, what did you do differently in your carnivore to reverse that? Or how do you think it was even caused?
So when I started carnivore, I stopped taking birth control at the exact same time. So I think that played a huge part because I was on birth control for 14 years and that I had no idea that how screwed up your hormones would be from that. I mean, birth control depletes you of all your and everything, like your hormones are all screwed up. And so, I don't expect to be all fixed after a year and a half of not taking it because I was on it for so long. But I do think that played a part in how I felt and maybe my weight gain. So I was able to maintain for the first 9 or 10 months of carnivore, and I felt great. And then after 10 months, I started gaining weight. So I gained about 10 to 12 pounds, and I was flipping the F out. I was like, okay, I've just preached this all wrong. Like, what do I need to go back to salads? I don't want to, but I definitely considered it. I was like, okay, maybe I'll go back to steak salads instead of just steak. But I couldn't bring myself to eat anything like less nutrient dense. I don't know if you guys feel like that too, but I just couldn't bring myself to go. It felt like taking a step backwards, like eating.
Oh yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Now, were you tracking your food?
No.
Were you weighing it? You were just eating kind of instinctually?
Yeah, like the thing about overcoming binging is that I didn't want to think or track anything, you know. I just wanted to get to like the intuitive eating side of things, where I could just eat to satiety and not think about it after. Because like binging, you are obsessively thinking about food all the time.
Right. And if you set that limit on a scale and that's all you're allowed to eat, then your mind will start working against you, like, no, give me more.
Yeah, exactly. If I start tracking it, sometimes I still track it in my head, like, okay, maybe I should stop eating, but that's the one thing I don't want to do is track or think about it anymore. Like, I just want to eat how I feel like eating, but only good foods.
So are you still dealing with desires to binge?
Occasionally, yeah, like and I think the hard thing about it is that my cycles are so irregular now that I can't relate a craving to a part of my cycle because I don't know where I am in my cycle. Like, normally people are like, okay, I can look at this period tracker and be like, okay, it's a week before my period. This makes sense.
Right.
But now I have no idea when my period's coming. So I don't know. I have cravings sometimes, and I do binge sometimes still, but it's definitely not like an everyday thing or how it used to be. Yeah, so when I gained weight, I maintained that weight gain for about 2 or 3 months, and the whole time I couldn't stop thinking about it. That went back to my like obsessive thinking. Like, okay, what can I do to get rid of this weight? So I started trying OMAD. I started, trying to like restrict how much I ate every day. That didn't work. And I tried the protein sparing modified fasting, and that didn't work. It didn't seem satisfying. Like I was still craving fat. So I just ate how I wanted to eat, just like fatty ribeyes and stuff. And I was like, fuck it. Like, oops, sorry.
Okay.
You're fine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was just like, I'm just gonna eat however the fuck I want. I don't care anymore. And then
John and I actually had that conversation, not about ribeyes, but about the F word.
okay.
3 weeks ago, and John's like, "Hey man, how do you feel about if I say the F word?" And if I said, "Hey man, if that's how you talk, that's how you talk." I really, it doesn't bother me at all.
Yeah, okay. I had someone, like, I used to cuss a lot in like my captions, and then I had people be like, I had someone be like, "Why do you talk like that?" I was just like, bro, that's how I talk. Like, I can't help it.
Yeah, and that's why I told John. I said, "You talk however, I don't typically talk like that, but I am a firefighter, so I hear it all day long."
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't offend me. And John's like,
Okay.
I told John, just be real, man.
Yeah, I was like, I told whoever said that, I was like, that's how I talk. I don't want to be held back by some random commenter. Like,
right.
just
Yeah.
let me do me.
I remember that caption too.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a while ago. So I've toned it down. But yes. So
People
yeah,
are so
anyways.
sensitive.
Yeah. So yeah, I dropped the weight after 3 or 4 months, and I have no idea how. And I tell people that, like, I don't know, I just ate how I ate. I don't know if my body figured out things on its own, because I pretty much think it was a hormonal issue. But yeah, now I'm not weighing myself or anything. Especially during COVID when the gyms closed, I don't want to be stressed out about my weight and not having a way to exercise and go to the gym. So I don't want to have that extra stressor in my life. So right now I'm still just practicing intuitive eating whatever I want to when I want to. Carnivore, keto-ish, obviously.
Right.
Yeah, so here we are today.
Are you tracking ketones at all?
No, I don't really track anything, honestly.
That sounds way awesome.
I don't honestly, I was too lazy to like get a ketone tracker. It wasn't like, and I want a CGM, but I'm like, I'm kind of lazy. I don't know if I want to track it either.
What is the CGM? I'm lost.
Continuous glucose monitor.
Yeah.
It looks like a smoking patch thing.
Yeah.
And you just scan it with your phone.
Yeah, I'm really curious because after hearing Paul Saladino talk about raw honey, I just ordered some raw honey. So I'm going to try, I think, introducing a little bit of carbs just for fun.
I'd like to try one of those too, but I think I sweat too much. I feel like it would fall off.
Yeah, that's what I feel like too.
Doesn't it stick in your arm?
Like, yeah, but just a needle though, right? The rest is I imagine the rest is adhesive or something.
Yeah, I heard it just pushes into your arm a little bit. I don't know.
Sounds like
interesting.
Fun.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so I'm basically doing his experiment without tracking my glucose.
Now, did you order local honey, or is this?
It's on Amazon.
Okay.
Yeah, so I just wanted, and it's raw honey, which I've never had raw honey before, so better than the regular stuff that comes in the bear-shaped.
The bear-shaped.
Yeah.
That's when you know it's shitty.
Yeah.
So now, are you gonna use this as like a pre-workout, like a pre-workout carb?
I think so. What I'm gonna just do is have it in the mornings, because I know it's better to have your carbs early in the day. You tend to have blood glucose spikes more, even with the same foods later in the day. So I just want to see if I could have more energy, see if I feel better, but it's not like a pre-workout per se.
Okay.
Yeah, just for fun. I'm experimenting more, like during quarantine, I've gone back to more keto-ish foods, like avocados, mushrooms, jalapenos, and all that stuff.
Jalapenos.
Yeah.
So walk us through a typical day of eating for you. Do you eat breakfast? Do you do 1, 2, 3 meals a day? What's a typical day look like for you when you wake up and you're hungry?
Yeah, so right now I just drink coffee with a splash of cream in the morning when I wake up. And then I usually eat around 11 or noon, and then another meal around like 3 or 4, and then that's it. Lately, for the past week or two, I've been trying to eat a bigger meal for my first meal and then a really light meal at the end of the day, just because to help my sleep. And I think that's working out okay, because I was waking up at like 3 in the morning and not being able to fall back asleep. So for the past week, it's been working out pretty well. I've been sleeping till like 6 a.m., which is pretty good.
It's not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
And when you do make a steak, how you eating a big bag? Eating like a couple? Because I know like Crystal, carnivore Chris, her omiads or whatever she's called, one
Oh
meal
my
every other
gosh.
day, huge,
Those are insane. Yeah.
right?
Yeah. I guess I eat based on how I feel. So this past week, I actually haven't been that hungry, but some days I'm like a bottomless pit and I could just eat steaks on steaks and steaks and like not be full. So it really depends on how I feel that day. And I try not to, like the thing about eating steaks is you kind of feel like there is a stopping point where you feel like you can get full. So I just kind of listen to my body, and if I'm hungrier, I'll just eat more. But the past several days I haven't eaten that much. Yeah. Yeah, and then I don't know, it just comes and goes, my hunger. Like some days in the month I'll be hungrier. But again, I can't track it according to my cycle, so I
Do
don't
you
know.
ever end up those days that you do feel hunger, just like 3 or 4 days, do you get your period and then you think back like, oh, I was hungrier that, or no?
It happened like one time where I was like, okay, that makes sense. And
Right.
now I'm like, so I don't know, it's so sporadic. Like I get it every 5 weeks or 2 months, and so that's my one goal right now, is trying to get a regular period, because that is a sign of health for women. So upping my fat is good. I mean, I feel better on that, but right now my primary goal is getting a regular period.
So are you taking any vitamin supplements or regular supplements to try and get you more regular on your cycle?
No, because, well, I saw a holistic doctor and she had given me some supplements to boost I guess my T3 or T4 levels and some iodine, but I didn't really see any results from that. So I stopped taking it, and I'm just gonna keep eating, and hopefully in the next year something,
Little
it
out.
might level out. I have faith in this way of eating, and it's not like I'm strictly carnivore right now. So I mean, I just want to see how it plays out.
Did you see regular cycles when you were on keto?
Yes, because I was on birth control then.
Oh, you were,
So
okay.
yeah, so when I started carnivore, I was like, well, I'm going like as natural as this diet can get, so I might as well not take birth control anymore.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
So do you think it's the years of your birth control that caused this imbalance?
I do, yeah. I after stopping it, I read this book by Dr. Jolene Brighton. She is a really great, I guess like a holistic doctor, but she has a book called I think it's called the post-birth control syndrome, or I forget what it's called. Oh, Beyond the Pill. So it talks all about post-birth control syndrome, what you need to take when you are coming off the pill, or what you should do if you want to stay on the pill. And that really opened my eyes to like, wow, this really F's you up. Like, and I can't believe I took it for 14 years and I wasn't told the harmful effects of it.
Right.
You know, they just wanted to, my original symptom was like really heavy bleeding. And when you're in college, the doctors are just like, okay, take this will fix it. But yeah, so I don't know. I wish I had known more about it back then.
Oh yeah, I think we all feel that way.
Yeah, like with anything, like you should
Yeah.
be explained, okay, this will screw you up, or this will just mask your symptoms, but maybe let's get to the root of it instead
Right.
of just
Yeah, instead of
covering
just
it up.
throwing this comfort blanket over it and saying, yeah,
Yeah,
everything's fixed.
which is like, I think all medicine now. It's just like fixing the problem, not the
Unfortunately,
underlying
yeah.
symptom. Yeah.
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 So let's shift gears from that,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
let's talk about. So I would say probably 90% of your posts are just food,
Oh yeah.
and some really really good looking meals,
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
right out of a cooking magazine.
Thank you so much.
Have you always cooked?
No. So I didn't know how to cook my entire life until like 2 years ago, maybe. I didn't know, I mean, I didn't even know how to make eggs. I was just like, like seriously, in college, I lived off cereal, peanut butter sandwiches, like instant noodles, and that's about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
typical college food. Yeah.
Yeah, and I never even, I mean, oh my God, if they had air fryers back then, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
But so I just learned how to cook maybe a couple years ago, and once I learned how to cook steaks, that just kind of changed my life. I was like, okay, now I can start, like, this fancy steak took like 5 minutes to make, and it was so easy. You literally just sear each side. So I guess my love for cooking kind of just developed over the past couple of years. Yeah, and now I never thought I'd be posting food ever. Food, like if anyone knows me, they'll just be like, okay, Grace knows how to cook. She's like, she just eats out like all the time.
Right.
I never thought I'd be able to cook anything. So, but developing this love for cooking has been, I don't know, it's just kind of like a stress reliever, and I really enjoy it. And everything's delicious. So
yeah, everything looks delicious.
Thank you. I get a lot of inspiration from other people too. So it's been really fun. Like with quarantine and everything, I have more time also to make things. So it's been great. Yeah.
So do you also know how to cook non-carnivore food? Because you said your boyfriend's not really on it anymore.
Yeah. So the only difference between our meals is that he has rice with his meal. Okay. So we'll still like eat the same things, but then I'll just make rice on the side for him. Or like if he wants Texas toast, boo, like all that crap. Like so I'll just make the meat still or whatever, and he can make his own carbs.
That's exactly how I cook at the firehouse. I cook my keto meal, and then I throw a tray in of French fries for the other guys.
Yeah. I'll like air fry potatoes for him or something, but we eat the same the nutrient dense food.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
So one thing I've noticed on your Instagram is not a lot of treats, not a lot of keto treats or keto bars or keto bricks, anything like that. Is that something you just totally stay away from in general?
Yeah, so when I was on keto, I actually ate a lot of Quest cookies and keto treats.
They go down pretty easily.
What's that?
No, so they go down pretty easily.
Yeah. That was like, I'd have one, every day. That was like a dessert for me. It was great. But when I went carnivore, I kind of stopped the snacking or the keto treats. And I felt like that was a gateway for me. It kind of just spurred my sweet tooth, and that was something I just wanted to get rid of. So my desserts these days are just like berries or 100% dark chocolate. But yeah, I try not to get anything packaged unless it's like biltong or beef jerky or something like that. Yeah, I don't know. It just, when I had them, I just felt like I would just want more sugar after that. So
Yeah, because it kind of, even though it's not real sugar, it kind of triggers your brain thinking that you are, and it takes you way back. Yeah.
yeah. I just think about my binging days. I'm like, oh my God, now I want like a ton of these. So
Yeah. I just
Yeah.
keep a jar of crunchy peanut butter on hand.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Oh my gosh. So yeah, my dessert used to be I used to eat spoonfuls of almond butter too. Like
Yes.
that was amazing. And then I once you stop buying something, you just kind of forget about it. So I stopped buying it at Costco and
No, I never
yeah.
forget about peanut butter.
Yeah. It's so good though.
It is that all nut butter that they have at Costco is
What's
really good
that?
too. It's
I haven't
I'm
tried
not
that.
sure. I don't know what that might not be the name of it, but it's got like sunflower seeds, flax seeds, almonds,
Oh yeah,
nuts,
yeah.
cashews. It's really
Ooh,
good. Yeah,
never tried that.
my wife writes the date on the lid for when I open it, so that way I can see like, hey,
How fast?
that was 3 days ago. This shouldn't be this empty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good tactic to like maybe hinder you from eating.
I just don't look at the date.
Yeah,
That's all.
just ignore it. Ignorance is bliss.
Open it with your hand on top
Yeah.
of the
Exactly.
lid. I
So
didn't
you
see a
can't see it,
date.
yeah.
The hell are you talking about?
Yeah.
So,
So no, go ahead.
what do you do for a living?
I'm a financial analyst
Oh,
for an
okay.
advertising agency, so I just work from home now, and we were just told that we'd be working from home for at least the rest of the year. So,
Wow, the
yeah.
rest of the year.
Yeah, they've
Wow.
decided.
How do you
Which
like working from home?
I'm probably different from a lot of people, but I absolutely love it. I'm such an introvert and I don't talk to anyone at work anyways, so it works out well. I mean, like, not that I don't talk to people, it's just that I don't have meetings with
Right.
people. So I might as well just do the same thing just at home.
This is this is a pitch you could make just to keep your job at home.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So I mean, we might be going towards that, but for now, like, it was the only thing I don't like about this is obviously the gym being closed.
Right.
So
So
yeah.
yours are still closed out there?
Yeah, there's I got this email from 24 Hour Fitness today and like, look for gyms open in your area, and I was like, oh my God, like I'm so excited. And it was listing like Texas and Florida. And I was like, okay, well, like
It's
not in
my
my area.
at
Yeah, I
all.
was like, okay, this
Today
email is pointless.
today was my first day back at my gym. I think
Your
they've been
gym's open?
yeah,
Mine
I
opened
think
yesterday.
30%
God.
capacity, and then all the fitness classes, because my wife takes the classes, they're outside in the parking lot.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Well, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, mine's 25% capacity.
Okay.
It's crazy. They have like the every other treadmill is closed, so you can't
Oh,
run next to
wow.
each other. Even the free weight area they moved around, so you can't be bench pressing next to somebody.
Wow.
But I'm just glad they're open.
Dude, you guys are so lucky. I'm in Seattle, so like ground zero of where the virus started.
Oh
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah, we're not
Dang.
even I don't even think we're the most populated city with COVID in Virginia. So
yeah.
we got lucky.
Yeah, definitely.
Minnesota seemed to get hit recently, or in the near recent, before everything else. We were starting to spike, and now they're saying that they're starting to come up again, and cases are starting to spike. So it's like, please God, don't
I
close
know.
this again.
The gym should be an essential business.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they made. I'm trying to bite my tongue here, but they kept ABC stores open as essential businesses, for people that need alcohol, so they don't go into withdrawal and have other issues. But what about the overweight people that need the gyms, that need to keep walking on the treadmill or keep working out to keep themselves healthy? Like,
Yeah. I mean, and that's an important factor in not getting coronavirus.
Yep.
Right.
Maintaining metabolic health. So it just
Yeah.
seems so backwards.
It's nuts.
Yeah, totally.
So it seems like you've had a couple ups and downs, right, through keto and carnivore,
Yes,
with your hormones, putting on weight, not knowing how you did it. What advice would you give someone that's trying it out but is frustrated with not seeing results right away?
I would say just be patient. I have read a lot of accounts where women mostly do gain weight at first or throughout their journey, and they stay patient and even like they maintain that higher weight for like 6 months before losing it. And that is a really long time. I mean, to be frustrated for 6 months and not seeing results, like I don't blame you for not wanting to try this. But I think it's important because many of us do come to this way of eating because we have healing to do from years of yo-yo dieting or birth control or other pills that you may have taken, or whatever. But I think it's key, and maybe playing around with fat protein ratios. Um, I think for some people, eating higher protein and lower fat works, and people have seen results with that. But for me, I've seen results with higher fat and lower protein.
I was going to ask you that because that is a big discussion topic lately on where you keep your ratio. So you said
Right.
you like higher fat?
Yeah, higher fat, I just feel more satiated with that. And I don't track, but I just know that I've tried leaner before where I was just eating like fish and chicken and so dissatisfying. Like I was like, okay, like just give me a fatty ribeye. Like I don't need this
Right.
chicken bullshit. Yeah,
Right.
so so definitely fatty, like higher fat for me works well, and everyone is different. Like I see other people on Instagram doing higher protein, and whatever works for you, like everyone is so individual that there's not one set piece of advice for every person, but patience I think is key.
Yeah.
And maybe measure inches rather than the scale, like look at the scale. So
That's great advice. The scale messes with your brain. It'll just fuck you all up if you look at the scale all the time.
Well, everyone expects it to be so linear when you start, a diet or a workout regimen, and it's not, and that's what the peaks and the valleys. We always talk about that. That's what gets people, messed up.
Yeah, I just put away my scale, and I feel pretty good about it. Like I walk past it still, so I'm like, oh, I should like actually just put it out of sight. But
it's like seeing that X,
just,
like, hey.
I just like kind of give it the side eye. I'm like, ugh, you again. Yeah.
Yeah, I try to only look at the scale if I'm doing like a really strict cut or something like that where I really want to track.
Right, that makes sense. Like if you have a specific goal, then I think you should track track your macros or track your weight. But if you're just like plain old whatever like me, then just strut along, eat how you want to eat, and whatever makes you feel your best.
Right.
Like your optimal health. Yeah.
All right. So what's next in the world of Grace?
So I recently started a blog, and it was just more like a personal, like I'll just write things I feel, but I might tell people about it one day. But it is
you kind of just did, but
I know.
You're just like, oh, I got you $1. You almost got it.
Where do we find the blog?
She's not going to tell us.
Well, I can't tell you yet. It is documenting like my personal like carnivore keto journey and my thoughts on it. But I only have 3 posts right now, and I'm still thinking of ideas to write about. Once I feel comfortable with that, I might tell people, post the actual site. But it's kind of fun to talk about it because there's so many things that an Instagram caption cannot, I can't write everything I feel in a caption. So this is a good way for getting out my feelings, and also at the moment when I think of something, I can write it down rather than, until someone asks me, then I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention this and this and this. So that's and I have time now because I'm working from home. So
well,
I hope my coworkers aren't saying this.
Well, since you won't tell us that address, where can people go and find you and interact with you?
I'm on Instagram as ms.grace, Miss Grace. which is what my students, I tutor math on the side, but they call me that too. Oh, hopefully they don't see
Makes
this
sense.
also, because I don't want them to find my Instagram.
Well, I think we only have 2 subscribers to our YouTube right now, so
Okay.
and like only a handful on the podcast.
Okay, well, hopefully 1 or 2 of those are not my like 6th grade students.
That would be
Yeah.
hilarious.
That would be
That would
fun.
be-
Yeah,
That would be hilarious. I know my
I'd be
students.
surprised.
Yeah, like one of them. So I did tutor high school, and one of them did find me on like I had an old YouTube video, and they found me on there one time.
Oh boy.
So, but yes, just Instagram at ms.grace. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, it was super awesome talking to you.
Yeah, you guys too. This was so fun. It felt like it was actually like in person. So that's
Yeah.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Zoom.
Welcome to the Zoom world.
I know.
Yeah, this was great.
Yes.
So to wrap up, John, what do you have coming up? Anything big?
I'm back at work, so that's big.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I told you, Karen, all my management team quit, so it's just me. So I'm gonna be busy for a while.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So other than that, just still reading the book about the marathon. I can't even think of the name right now because my brain.
Born to Run.
Yes, Born to Run.
Yes, that's such a good book. Yeah.
Still
Ooh,
reading that.
I'll have to put that on my list.
It's good. Got to get
Okay.
back on my running program so we can get prepared. Other than that, just staying busy with work again. What about you, bud?
I am finishing David Goggins' book tonight. I got like 15 pages, and then I think I'm have the book about the Nike owner next.
Nice.
I tried reading the Obesity Code, but that made me fall asleep. Oh man, I know we already did our wrap up, but Grace, that reminds me, when you were on the Carnivore Cast, you mentioned that you've had many talks at your previous jobs about falling asleep.
Oh my God, yes. I forgot
So this was before keto, right? Before all your energy.
Oh my God.
You would fall asleep all over the place, huh?
Oh my God. I had the perfect setup at my desk where I would prop my arm up like this and face my computer with my hand on my mouse, and no one would know I was asleep. Like, I knew how to prop myself up. Oh my God.
But
yeah.
You never had those violent wake up. Like in high school, I would have violent wake ups and I would just throw all my papers to the side when I woke up. You never had anything happen like that?
No, I've been startled like when I woke up, like, but no, I just would fall asleep and then wake up when like class was out, or whenever I woke up.
That's awesome.
Actually, in college one time, I only woke up when the next class was coming in, which is so embarrassing because someone woke me up and was like, dude, your class is over. So
nobody
I don't have
woke
to.
you up from your class. That's awful.
Yeah.
That's great.
Oh
Yeah.
man, I am so glad we got to hear that story. I'm
Yeah.
glad I
Me too.
remembered. Well,
Made my day.
Grace, yes, Grace, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me on. This
yeah.
was so awesome.
Glad we
Yeah.
finally got the chance to meet you and to talk with you. Such a
Yeah.
great story.
You guys too.
Especially for women on keto. The women on keto community on Instagram is crazy strong.
Mm-hmm.
Totally.
Trying to boost up the guys, but you ladies are taking over. Nice.
Yeah, we'll have to do a part 2 down the road here.
Yeah, let's do it whenever you guys want.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Sounds
It's really
good.
fun. All right, I'll talk to you
Grace.
guys later.
All right, see ya.
Later,
Okay,
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.